Hello everyone, my name is Divya Chaudhary and today we will do class 10th CBSE board, the nationalist movement in Indochina, which is basically about the struggle of Vietnam against France and later its war with USA and how all these struggles resulted into the growth of this concept, nationalism in Vietnam, which ultimately led to the unification of the country. So the modern Vietnam that we know today is basically created by the French colonialism, which lasted there for over 6 decades. However, before to start with the topic, it's important to understand the geography of the country we are studying. So this is the map of Vietnam. As you can see, it's a long and a narrow country, and it has an extensive coastline on South China Sea. It also shares border with China in the north and in the west with Laos and Cambodia. In the south, you see this Mekong River Delta, which plays very important role, which we will study later. And the term Indochina, it basically refers to 3 countries, that is Vietnam, Laos and Cambodia, which were associated with France. It all started when French became interested in Indochina. French missionaries were sent to convert the Vietnamese to Catholicism. During those days, 17th century, 16th century, there was this thing that Europeans, they used to send Christian missionaries to other places whom they called backward, and they tried to change the religion, the culture, the tradition of these indigenous people, by calling their religion, their custom, their habits as something which is primitive, which is barbaric. So, the early missionaries that were sent by French to Vietnam was in 1627 in Hanoi and converted around 6,000 people. However, it was not an easy task because Vietnamese religious belief were a mixture of Buddhism, Confucianism and local practices. Because if we look at the early history of Indochina, we find that Indonesia, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, they were under a very powerful empire, that was China. And Vietnam had been ruled by China for 100 years. So they had a great influence of Chinese culture, language over them. So it was not an easy task for French, Not only the religion, French, they also became deeply involved in Vietnamese affairs. For example, French helped leaders like Nguyen Anh establish the Nguyen dynasty, and these people, they also helped the Christian missionaries to establish in Vietnam. However, the successor of this very dynasty, they later persecuted Christian missionaries. So the French gradually expanded their power in Vietnam, and during 18th century there were many revolts and many religious movements happening in Vietnam against this Catholicism and the increasing power of French. One of the revolts, called the Scholar Revolt, that happened in 1868, which was led by the officials at the imperial court, was against the Christian missionaries and the French power. Also, there were other revolts. For example, in 1939, in the fertile plains of Mekong Delta, we have the revolt of Hoa Hao, which was led by Nguyen Phu Cho, and the followers of these people, they were also given a very capital punishment by the French. So, during 1840s and 1850s, Vietnam was suffering from flood, epidemic, there were tribal uprisings that were happening, and on top of that, France military activity also started. So the Napoleon III, he decided to invade Vietnam in July 1857 to punish the missionaries, persecutors. However, it was not the only reason. I mean, of course, French used the persecution of Christians as an excuse to intervene in Vietnamese, affair, but there were other reasons also. During 1850s, there was this upsurge of French capitalism, which generated the need for overseas markets in the desire for a larger French share of the Asian territories, conquered by the West. In 1857, French Navy attacked Da Nang and made a French military base there. In 1858, they did the same thing with Touraine and bombarded the whole harbor. In 1859, Saigon was captured, and in 1862, a treaty was signed between France and Vietnam that gave French the 3 eastern provinces of Cochin China. So by 1859 and 1883, all of the Vietnam fall under the French colonial control. If we compare the Vietnamese armies with French armies, then there is no comparison, because French, they were far more advanced. But Vietnamese were not that weak also. They used to, drive the whole troops into the jungles and bushes, and many French troops, they suffered very crippling wounds from falling into covered pits with sharpened bamboo sticks. So these were the tactics that Vietnamese were following. After defeating Vietnam and establishing a very strong hold there, the French set up ports in Vietnam, produced opium as a cash crop, which was, sold to the Chinese market, and they used to gain a lot of profit from that market. They also started, growing rice for the international market, which again gave them a lot of profit. In 1884, France formed a protectorate over Tonkin, which was in North Vietnam, and Annam, which was a central Vietnam, and also the country Laos and Cambodia. And what is the meaning of protectorate? It is basically when a state or a country is protected by a larger and the more powerful country, and in this case it was France. So, and funding for the colonial government came by means of taxes on locals, and French government, they established a near monopoly on the trade of opium, salt and rice alcohol, and lot of infrastructure project also took place. For example, the building of roads, so that they will be easy for transportation of goods, and also for the movement of military garrison, and also it was good to control the entire region. Okay, then there was the construction of Trans-Indochina rail network that would link the northern and the southern part of Vietnam and China. French, they also controlled the Mekong Delta, because they hoped that it would give them the way of reaching southern China. So if we talk about the impact of French colonialism on Vietnam, then the society of Vietnam was transformed in 19th century by imposition of French rule. Okay, French colonization was not only based on economic exploitation, but it was driven by this ideology of civilizing mission. Now, civilizing mission was the military intervention to facilitate, the modernization and the westernization of indigenous people. But what this mission meant for the people of Vietnam, right? Now, for French, the people of Vietnam were native, They called Vietnam, the land of people who are backward, who does not have the knowledge of science, does not have the knowledge of technology. Their thinking are primitive. They are not westernized. So, civilizing the Vietnam was the next target of France. But what was the hidden motto behind this? Does they really wanted to educate Vietnamese so that they can rise, right? So that they can get developed? Of course not. Of course not. The French people need educated labor to work for them at a very low cost. So they started with the education system. It was modified. But before that, they had to encounter the Chinese influence because Vietnam had a great Chinese influence. So what they did, they totally dismantled the traditional educational system and established French schools. Now only Vietnamese and French language were taught. Vietnamese were taught in lower classes and French in the higher classes. However, only few students were passed these examinations, and only few of them they used to get any better paid jobs because उनको सबको एजुकेट थोड़ी करना था. उन्हें, मैंने जैसे बोला कि उन्हें एजुकेटेड लेबर चाहिए था. उनको पूरा वियतनाम को एडवांस नहीं बनाना था. ठीक है. सो व्हाट दे डिड, they introduced textbooks which used to glorify the French colonial rule, and Vietnamese were represented as someone who were very primitive and very backward. Whole idea was not to study modern but also to look modern and change your looks and your attire and your tradition. So the schools encouraged to adopt the Western styles and also encourage people to have a short hair. Traditionally, Vietnamese, they used to have long hair, and hygiene need to be maintained, their nails need to be cut. So all these things were implemented on Vietnamese students. Now there were teachers in Vietnamese schools which were Vietnamese itself, and they started feeling that these are the things that may destroy their tradition, right? These French language, this French curriculum may destroy their culture in long run. So there were some opposition, silent resistance that started happening. By the 1920s, students were forming various political parties such as Party of Young Annan, and published nationalist journals such as the Annanese Student. And not only in educational field, but there were other ways, right? The colonies were protesting. For example, there is this example of Hanoi, where it was struck by plague in 1903, and the French, they employed a lot of people to catch rats, and they were paid if they show the killed rat. So the whole idea was not to just have a modern education but also to look modern, right? So the schools were encouraging students to adopt Western styles and cut their hair. Traditional Vietnamese people, they have long hair, and also cut their nails, keep hygiene and everything. These all things were seen by the indigenous people as an attack on their tradition, right? So in Vietnamese school, there were like lot of Vietnamese teacher, right? So now they were started. So the whole idea was not just only to have a modern education, but also to look modern, right? So the schools were encouraging students to adopt Western styles, cut their hair, cut their nails. Traditionally, Vietnamese, they used to have long hair, and cutting the hair was not a good thing. Okay. And there were a lot of French curriculums that were introduced, which was not liked by Vietnamese people. So teachers and students, they did not blindly follow the curriculum. Okay, sometimes there was opposition. And as the Vietnamese teachers increased in the lower classes, it actually became very difficult to control what was actually taught. So Vietnamese teachers, they quietly they used to criticize that whatever was written in the text. So there was some opposition and a silent resistance by the Vietnamese. By the 1920s, students were forming various political parties such as Party of Young Annan, and published nationalist journals such as the NAC Students. And there were other ways also that the people were protesting. For example, Hanoi plague that happened in 1903, and the whole rat Minake marked the limitation of French power, and contradict their civilizing mission. However, the French, they tried to regain the control of that area again by using the Emperor Bao Dai, but Viet Minh were very much determined that they won't let French capture that area again. So they gave French a very tough fight, and the fight that lasted for 8 years and ended in 1954 at Dien Bien Phu with the victory of Vietnam over French. If we talk about the casualties, the Viet Minh, they captured more than 16,000 soldiers of the French, and the entire commanding staff, including generals, 16 colonels, and 1,749 officers, were taken prisoner. However, peace was discussed at Geneva in 1954, and the Treaty of Geneva was signed that agreed that the French would leave Vietnam. After that, an armistice was signed, which splitting Vietnam into two parts: north with capital at Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh as its leader, which established the communist regime there, and south, which came to know as Republic of Vietnam with its capital at Saigon, and Diem became the leader. However, Diem retained ordinances that permitted Christianity but outlawed Buddhism, and due to this, there were many of the South Vietnamese people supported Ho Chi Minh as they were unhappy with Diem. Viet Cong and their leaders were also willing to break the peace, and to head south, so along what would soon be called the Ho Chi Minh Trail, the famous Ho Chi Minh Trail, and fought for the unified Vietnam. And Viet Minh, they wanted to unite the country under communist leader Ho Chi Minh. I'm sorry for the voice in the background. So these developments, led to the war. So war broke out between the north and south from 1958 onwards, and the south came under increasing attack from the communist in South Vietnam itself, right? So the Diem dictatorial rule came to be opposed by a broad opposition united under the banner of the NLF. Now, these men, they belong to the National Liberation Front, right? And the armed wing of the organization was called the People Liberation Army Forces, and they wanted a united Vietnam. So with the help of Ho Chi Minh government in the north, and the NLF fought for the unification of the country. However, USA watched this with fear and decided to intervene, sending the troops and arms. But the one question arises that why USA entered into the war of North Vietnam and South Vietnam. Because USA was afraid that communism would spread to South Vietnam and then it will spread to the rest of Asia. Okay, so it decided to send money, supplies and military advisors to help the South Vietnamese government. So in 1963, President Kennedy sent 16,000 military advisors to help the South Vietnamese army. He also authorized the use of napalm, Agent Orange, which was the plant killers, and also phosphorus bombs. So in 1964, the North Vietnamese, they attacked the US Navy in the Gulf of Tonkin. Now this incident gave the USA the excuse it need to escalate the war. Okay, so and also US Congress gave President Lyndon Johnson permission to wage a war against the North Vietnam. So by 1968, over 500,000 Americans troops were in Vietnam, and the war was costing more than $77 billion a year. So you can understand that how much resources were being used in these wars. So from 1965 to 1972, more than 3 million US service personnel served in Vietnam. And although USA they were very advanced in technology and they had good weapons and medical supplies, but still the casualties were very high. The lot of people, a lot of army died. And in Vietnam also, lot of local civilians, they were dead. The chemicals, the organic compound, napalm that they used, it used to stick on the hand, and it used to burn the human skin, right? And this was used in Second World War and developed by USA, and the amount that it was used in Second World War was nothing in front of the amount that was used in Vietnam. It exceeds the amount that was used in the Second World War. So you can see the extent of cruelty that was inflicted on the Vietnamese. And however, the war was felt within the US as well, because many people in the USA also were very critical of the government, because the people who were recruited as an army in Vietnam, they were very young people, and they were university graduates, and many of them do not even know how to fight, right? So these were the things. We talk about the Vietnamese, the famous Ho Chi Minh Trail, which symbolizes that how Vietnamese use their limited resources and to fight against USA. This trail, it was used to transport goods and weapons from north to the south, and USA knew about it. So USA, they used to bombarded it and destroy it, but it was of no use because they used to rebuild it overnight. And also the roads which were destroyed by the USA armies, they used to build it so quickly, right? So whole of the Vietnam was into the fight, and whatever the resources they had, either bamboos, their jungles, they used everything to their everything to fight against USA. It was very clear that USA failed to achieve its objective, and Vietnam was not crushed. They were still putting up the fight, and meanwhile there were thousands of young US soldiers who lost their lives, and millions of Vietnamese civilians had been killed. Also, this war was called the first television war because each and every battle scenes, they were shown on the daily news programs, and there were lot of Hollywood movies that were being made, which were supporting the war, and some Hollywood movies were also criticizing the war. Women also participated in the anti-imperialist movement in Vietnam. The rebel women of the past were celebrated. How they put fight against the Chinese in ancient period. These were the things which were glorified, so that it encouraged women to participate in the nationalist movement, right? So many women responded and joined the resistance movement, and they help in like nursing the wounded, and constructing underground rooms, tunnels, and also fighting the enemy. So they also had a great role in the Vietnam nationalism. After such a long war, finally a peace settlement was signed in Paris in January 1974, and this ended a conflict with the US. The Vietnam War was an example of imperial aggression, for it was not the soldier war but a political war which costed so many lives, which people will always remember. So thank you.